Imagine spending 3 years babying a blueberry bush. You test the soil pH weekly, you add sulfur, you mulch with pine needles, you protect it from birds with netting, and after all that work, you get maybe 2 cups of berries that taste like disappointment. Now imagine planting something else. Something that doesn't care about your soil pH. Something that grows faster, yields more, tastes better, and has tripled the antioxidants. Something the birds ignore because there's too much fruit for them to make a dent. And you've never heard of it because the nursery industry has been lying to you for decades. Welcome to the world of superfruits, not the trendy acai bowls from Instagram. I'm talking about actual fruit you can grow in your backyard that will outperform everything Home Depot told you to plant. Today, I'm giving you 7 fruits that are easier, more productive, and more nutritious than the garbage everyone else is growing. This is going to make some gardeners very angry. Let's go. 1. Hardy kiwi, the fruit that makes grapes look pathetic. Let's start with the fruit that broke my brain the first time I grew it. Hardy kiwi, also called kiwi berry. Actinidia arguta if you want to get scientific about it. You know regular kiwis from the grocery store? The fuzzy brown ones from New Zealand that cost $1.50 each? Hardy kiwis are like that, except they're grape-sized, smooth-skinned, and you eat them whole. Pop them in your mouth like candy. And here's the kicker. They grow on a vine in climates where regular kiwis would freeze to death. Most people, if they're going to grow fruit on a vine, plant grapes. And grapes are fine if you like dealing with powdery mildew, Japanese beetles, and birds that treat your vineyard like an all-you-can-eat buffet. If you like waiting 4 years for a decent harvest. If you like the fact that half your varieties won't ripen properly unless you live in California. Hardy kiwis laugh at all of this. They're cold hardy down to minus 25 degrees Fahrenheit. They don't get powdery mildew. The birds largely ignore them because the fruit is small and the yield is so massive they can't keep up. And once they start producing, usually in year 3, a single vine can give you 100 pounds of fruit, 100 pounds, from one plant. Let's talk nutrition. Grapes have some vitamin C and resveratrol if you're into that. Hardy kiwis have 5 times the vitamin C of an orange, more fiber than an apple, and a full suite of antioxidants including lutein for eye health. Gram for gram, it's not even close. The flavor, imagine if a kiwi and a grape had a baby and that baby was raised on pure sugar. They're intensely sweet with a slight tropical tang. You will eat them until your stomach hurts. I'm speaking from experience. And here's the best part. You don't need fancy soil. You don't need to spray anything. You just need a strong trellis because these vines are aggressive. They will grow 20 feet in a season if you let them. Plant a male and a female because they need cross-pollination and then get out of the way. The only reason you don't see hardy kiwis everywhere is because they don't ship well. They're too soft. They bruise easily. So the commercial industry ignores them. But in your backyard, they're a cheat code. 2. Black raspberries, the berry everyone gets wrong. Walk into any garden center and you'll see red raspberries, rows and rows of them, Heritage, Autumn Bliss, Caroline, and gardeners buy them because raspberries are delicious. But they're growing the wrong color. Black raspberries are what you should be planting. And I'm not talking about blackberries, I'm talking about actual black raspberries, Rubus occidentalis. They look like raspberries, but they're dark purple, almost black, and they are objectively superior in every measurable way. Let's compare. Red raspberries are pleasant, they're sweet tart, they're soft, they fall apart if you look at them wrong, they get cane blight, root rot, and Japanese beetles treat them like a buffet. A good red raspberry plant might give you a pint of berries per cane per year if you're lucky. Black raspberries? First, the yield. A mature black raspberry plant will give you double or triple the fruit of a red. The berries are firmer, so they actually survive the trip from the garden to the kitchen without turning into mush. The flavor is deeper, richer, almost wine-like. It's what a raspberry should taste like if raspberries weren't bred to be fragile shipping vehicles. But here's where it gets interesting. The nutrition. Red raspberries have antioxidants. Black raspberries have anthocyanins, the same compounds in blueberries that everyone freaks out about, except in higher concentrations. Studies have shown black raspberries have anti-cancer properties. They're being researched for esophageal cancer prevention. You're not going to find that in a Driscoll's clamshell. And they're easier. Black raspberries are more drought tolerant than reds. They handle heat better. The canes are thornless or nearly so depending on variety. Birds don't bother them as much because the color blends into the foliage. The only downside, they spread via tip layering, which means if you're not paying attention, they'll start a new patch 10 feet away. But that's not really a downside, that's free plants. The reason nurseries push red raspberries is because they're prettier in a pot. That's it. That's the only reason. Don't fall for it. 3. Sea buckthorn, the superfruit that tastes like war. Alright, I need to be honest with you. Sea buckthorn is not for everyone. The flavor is aggressive. Imagine if an orange and a pineapple had a fight inside your mouth and both of them lost. It's sour, tangy, slightly bitter, and oily. Your face will do things. But if you care about nutrition, sea buckthorn is the king. Not the prince. The king. Let's talk numbers. Sea buckthorn berries have more vitamin C than oranges, more vitamin E than wheat germ, more omega-7 fatty acids than anything else on the planet. Omega-7 is the rare one. It's good for skin, mucous membranes, and cardiovascular health. This is the stuff they put in $50 skincare serums. And here's what most people don't know. Sea buckthorn has vitamin B12, which is almost impossible to find in plant sources. It has iodine, which your thyroid desperately needs. It's loaded with selenium for immune function, iron for energy, and vitamin A for vision. This isn't just a fruit, it's a multivitamin that grows on a bush. What do most people grow instead? Citrus, if they're in a warm climate. Or they just buy oranges from the store. Sea buckthorn grows in climates where citrus would die instantly. It's cold hardy to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It grows in sandy, poor soil. It fixes nitrogen, which means it actually improves the soil around it. It doesn't need fertilizer. It doesn't need water once established. And the yield? A mature bush will give you 20 to 30 pounds of berries. Speaking of cold, here's the harvesting trick. Wait until winter when the berries freeze on the branch. Cut the branch, wear thick gloves, and the frozen berries pop right off with minimal effort. No freezing winters, just cut branches, toss them in your freezer for a few hours, and harvest the same way. The caveat is that you can't really eat them fresh unless you have the palate of a masochist, but you juice them. You make syrup, you mix them into smoothies, a tablespoon of sea buckthorn juice in your morning smoothie, and you've just consumed more vitamins than most people get in a week. Also, the plant itself is beautiful. Silvery gray foliage, bright orange berries that stay on the branches through winter. It looks like something from a fantasy novel. And the birds? They hate it until late winter when everything else is gone. So you actually get to harvest your own fruit for once. The only reason this isn't in every yard is because Americans are cowards who need everything to taste like candy. Grow up. Plant sea buckthorn. 4. Saskatoon Berries, the blueberry killer. Here's a question. Why do people torture themselves with blueberries? Blueberries are the gardening equivalent of a high-maintenance relationship. They need acidic soil, pH 4.5 to 5.5, or they'll throw a tantrum and die. They need consistent water but not too much, or the roots rot. They need specific mycorrhizal fungi in the soil. They grow slow. They produce modestly. And after all that work, the birds eat 70% of your harvest before you even wake up. Now let me tell you about Saskatoon berries, also called service berries. Amelanchier alnifolia. They look like blueberries. They taste like blueberries with a hint of almond, but they grow in any soil. Clay, sand, loam, neutral pH, acidic pH. They don't care. They're native to North America, so they're already adapted to your climate. They're cold hardy to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. They handle drought. They handle wet springs. They grow fast. A 3-year-old bush will already be producing. The yield? A mature Saskatoon bush will give you 10 to 20 pounds of berries. A blueberry bush of the same age, maybe 3 pounds if you prayed hard enough. And the nutrition? Saskatoons have more fiber, more iron, and more antioxidants than blueberries. They have similar anthocyanin levels, but with better mineral content. Oh, and the birds. This is the best part. Now, birds do like Saskatoons, but because the bushes produce so much fruit, you can share. You'll still get buckets of berries even after the robins have their fill. The reason you don't see Saskatoons everywhere is because They're a regional fruit. They're huge in Canada. In the US, they're mostly grown by people who actually know what they're doing. Nurseries push blueberries because they can charge $30 for a plant that needs $50 of soil amendments. It's a racket. Stop growing blueberries. Grow Saskatoons. Your life will improve immediately. 5. Sour cherries. The sleep hack growing on a tree. Let's talk about cherries. Most people, if they grow cherries at all, grow sweet cherries. Bing. Rainier. Lapins. And sweet cherries are great if you like climbing a 20-foot ladder, battling squirrels, and netting your entire tree so the birds don't take everything in a single afternoon. Sweet cherry trees also get cherry fruit fly brown rot, and they need a very specific chill hour requirement or they won't fruit. They're picky, they're tall, they're a pain. Sour cherries, on the other hand, are the working class heroes of the fruit world. Montmorency, Balaton, North Star. These trees stay small, 10 to 12 feet, easy to net, easy to harvest. They're self-pollinating, so you only need one. They're cold-hardy and handle spring frosts better than sweets. And birds? Birds don't love sour cherries because, shocker, they're sour. But here's the real reason you should grow them. Sour cherries naturally contain melatonin. Not a little bit. A lot. Montmorency cherries especially. Studies have shown that tart cherry juice can raise melatonin markers in your blood and improve sleep quality for people with insomnia. Let me repeat that. You can grow a tree that produces fruit that helps you sleep. This is not some wellness influencer nonsense. This is peer-reviewed science. The flavor? Yes, they're sour. But that's the point. You make pie, you make jam, you make juice, or you do what I do and eat them fresh because you're an adult and you can handle a little tartness. Nutritionally, sour cherries destroy sweet cherries. Higher vitamin C, higher antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds that are being studied for arthritis and gout. The only downside is that sour cherries don't ship well, so you'll never find fresh ones in a store, which means the only way to get them is to grow them yourself, which is exactly why you should. 6. Honeyberries. The berry that grows in Siberia. If you live in a cold climate, you've been lied to about what you can grow. The garden industry tells you to plant strawberries, raspberries, maybe blueberries if you're lucky, and then you spend half the year watching your plants struggle through winter. Honeyberries don't struggle. Honeyberries laugh at winter. They're also called haskaps, and they're native to Siberia. They can handle negative 55 degrees Fahrenheit. They bloom so early in spring that late frosts don't even touch them, and they fruit in June, earlier than almost anything else. They look like elongated blueberries. They taste like a mix of blueberry, raspberry, and blackcurrant. They're sweet with a slight tartness. And nutritionally, they're absurd. More antioxidants than blueberries, more vitamin C than oranges. Anthocyanins off the charts. The yield? A mature bush, and they mature fast, will give you 5 to 10 pounds in June. That's fruit when nothing else is ripe yet. You're eating fresh berries while your neighbors are still waiting for their strawberries to flower. And they're easy. Any soil. Full sun to part shade. Minimal pruning. No major pests. Birds don't bother them much because they fruit so early the birds haven't figured it out yet. The comparison here is blueberries again, because that's what cold climate gardeners default to. But blueberries are slow. Honeyberries fruit in year 2 or 3. Blueberries need that acidic soil. Honeyberries don't care. Blueberries need consistent water. Honeyberries handle drought. The only catch is you need 2 different varieties for cross-pollination. But that's not a catch. That's just an excuse to plant more. The reason honeyberries aren't mainstream is because they're new to North America. They've been grown in Russia and Japan for centuries, but they only started showing up in North American nurseries in the last 20 years. Give it another decade and everyone will be growing them. Get ahead of the curve. 7. Aronia. The chokeberry that doesn't choke. Last one. And this might be the most underrated fruit on the list. Aronia. Chokeberry. Aronia melanocarpa. The name chokeberry is terrible marketing. It sounds like it's going to kill you. It won't. The name comes from the fact that the raw berries are astringent. They'll dry your mouth out. But once you process them, juice, jam, baked goods, that astringency disappears and what you're left with is one of the most nutrient-dense fruits on the planet. What do people grow instead? Probably nothing, because most people don't even know Aronia exists. But if they're looking for antioxidants, they grow blueberries or goji berries, and Aronia destroys both. Aronia has the highest auric score, that's the antioxidant measurement, of any berry. Higher than acai, higher than blueberries, higher than elderberries. We're talking 16,000 plus auric units per 100 grams. Blueberries have 4,600. It's being studied for cardiovascular health, diabetes management, and inflammation. This is a pharmaceutical-grade fruit that you can grow in your yard. And it's easy. Aronia grows in any soil. Wet clay? Fine. Dry sand? Fine. It's cold-hardy to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's heat-tolerant. It doesn't get pests. It doesn't get diseases. Deer don't touch it. Birds mostly ignore it until late fall. The yield? A mature bush will give you 10 to 30 pounds of berries, and they hang on the plant until you're ready to harvest them. No rush, they'll wait. The shrub itself is ornamental. White flowers in spring, glossy green leaves in summer, bright red foliage in fall. It's beautiful even when it's not fruiting. The only reason Aronia isn't everywhere is because Americans don't know what to do with astringent fruit. But Europeans figured it out decades ago. In Poland, Aronia juice is as common as orange juice. It's mainstream. We're just late to the party. Grow Aronia. Juice it. Mix it with apple juice to cut the astringency. Drink it every morning. Your cardiologist will wonder what you're doing differently. So there you have it. 7 fruits that are easier, more productive, and more nutritious than whatever big garden center has been pushing on you. The reason you haven't heard of these is simple. They don't fit the commercial food system. They don't ship well, they're too soft, too perishable, or too weird looking. So the grocery stores ignore them, and if the grocery stores ignore them, the big nurseries don't bother stocking them. But in your backyard, these are champions. These are the fruits that will actually produce without you having to get a second degree in horticulture. Stop growing the wrong fruit, start growing these. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments which one you're planting first. And if you're already growing any of these, tell me what I got wrong. I love a good argument. Hit subscribe if you want more videos about food you should be growing instead of buying. And if you think I'm full of it, hit the thumbs down button. Either way, the algorithm likes engagement. Thanks for watching. Now go plant something weird.